Have we ever considered that football is bad?
I have considered that many times, Brad. Are you finally coming around to the unhealthy obsession you have with a team that happens to be geographically near where you live, or what, what's
I
happening?
think just attaching my emotional well-being to a football team
Is unhealthy?
is just. I need to go back to grass seed.
um, I see. I'm just looking. Oh, you guys have started 0-3. That's unexpected.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, I haven't really been following this season too much yet.
We haven't missed anything from Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, part of it, one of the things I saw was just like must have been ahead of this weekend. So it was like, teams that are like 2-0, like this season, like 2-0, like like what is this? Some kind of a notable accomplishment? Anyway, sorry.
I think we have a true monkey paw or tiger paw, maybe. Because Joe
Tiger.
Burrow finally has an offensive line that is not Swiss cheese. Like he's actually
Yeah.
legitimately had time in the pocket.
Yep.
However, we don't have a defense. Like the game they
Yeah.
played last night,
Yeah.
every time the Commanders had the ball, they scored. They never punted. They never turned it over. They
Well,
just
yeah.
scored. That's all they did.
I'm sorry. It
And
was
Joe
a
Burrow
high
had a great
scoring
game.
game. It
The
looked
offense
like,
did.
yeah, it looks like
I'm not gonna let it do this.
you guys scored in every quarter. What was the net result of the? I know it was a loss. You guys played Kansas City, I think, the week before.
They lost.
Yeah, I know. No, I know they lost. But what was the score? Do you remember? Was it?
They lost by like 2 points.
Yeah, so it was also like a last minute,
Yeah.
anything could have happened type thing. Yeah. So I mean, I feel like you guys have been close, and also that maybe you shouldn't
Are
obsess
we
over this.
playing horseshoes or hand grenades? Because
I guess a loss is a loss.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, fair enough.
at this point, like us making the playoffs is pretty much not
Really?
good.
It's statistically eliminated in week 3?
No, not
It doesn't.
statistically, but I think 4 teams have done it in history.
All right.
So
Well, I mean, I look, there there are times to have little losing streaks and whatnot. This would be the best time if you had to
I
do it.
appreciate the optimism, especially coming from you. However,
Just trying to see the bright side here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Take long walks, reconsider your priorities. I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't wish you or the Bengals ill.
It's just
It's like my son lives up in Rochester, and a lot of Bills fans, right?
Mhm.
Rochester's probably less than
Who,
an
by
hour.
the way, had a wonderful game last night.
Yeah, they're doing great this season, which is tough on my son for some reason. And he has a really tough time with this. And I just, dude, like you live here, like you need to get used to this. Like I
Mhm.
live in Eagles country, like it's just the way it is. And I don't know if this is like a weird story for this podcast, but we go to this bar every Wednesday, and it's all locals, obviously, and they have TV. So there was a play, the Eagles game, something happened. And a guy next to me is like, "Oh shit, I missed it. What happened?" I'm like, "Oh, I like explain what happened." The way I said it was, "We blah 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 happened this thing," and my wife goes, "What did you just say?" I'm like, "What?" And she goes, "Did you just say we?" And I'm like, I she's like, something we need to discuss here, or what's going on?" And I'm like, "We're talking to people who live here. Shut up." Like just I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, so Windows 11 may or may not get 24H2 this week and next week. I guess maybe not next week. I guess maybe this week and then patch Tuesday or something.
Well, look, honestly, following a normal schedule, tomorrow's the week D preview update normally, but they've never followed the normal schedule this year. So honestly, this is not unprecedented. So it's most likely, I'm not like betting money on this, but I think tomorrow's going to come and go without a preview update. And then we will see the preview update Wednesday or Thursday. And it will be this thing or these things that just went out to the release preview channel. And then meaning
Mm-hmm.
the preview version of what will be essentially 24H2, or if you're on the 23H2 stream that, but roughly the same exact features, so no big deal there. And then yeah, like next patch Tuesday, October 8th, I think they're still going to start rolling out, right? This is my guess.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's actually changed. So,
Yeah.
but they've done, like I said, they've done this before. This is at least the third time this year they've staggered release or weekday releases because they weren't quite ready for some reason, because it's not like this thing was like on the schedule forever. Don't worry about it. But they're doing what they do, so it's this chaotic stupidity is just SOP at this point.
Yeah. And then the great thing is it will release, but you may not get it. You might show up in February. We don't really know.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, look, the first time is this true? Yeah. The first time I sort of noticed this was way back. It's hard to even remember. It was probably like right after 22H2 shipped. I suddenly, because I have so many different computers and could go back and forth, I realized there were 3 different versions of OneDrive. Microsoft had never did announce a brand new UI for OneDrive, which is now just common. It's just out there. But at the time, there was the old school version. There was the new version with the 3 folders for backup. And then there was the third version with 5 folders for backup. And that situation persisted for over a year. Like a year later, you could have any one of those 3. And if you did a new clean install of Windows 11, you would start with the old version and then would upgrade to number 2 or 3. Like, it was the stupidest thing. But now that's just, I mean, they've taken that and turned it into a strategy. I don't know what to tell you. So this is the world. I don't know.
Also, speaking of the world we're living, I'm trying to catch rabbits in my backyard because going back to the grass, they're eating everything. And so I've decided I don't want to murder them because it just doesn't. It sounds messy. So I have a trap, like one of the critter traps. Like, if you think of a critter trap in your backyard, it's that one. Like, it's the one they walk in. There's a little plate. You step on it. Door slams down.
Yeah. And what do you do with them?
Well, then I'm going to deport them to a nearby park, which apparently, I guess I'm
going to build a wall, Brad. Is that what this is about?
Yeah, I'm going to build a wall. I'm trying to actually build a wall out of Fuji
Get the
Green
rabbits to
Giants
pay for it. That's a good strategy. Sorry, go on.
I don't know. Then I'm just going to take them there and let them free, which apparently I guess is not legal. I don't know if this is illegal or not, but like,
we looked into something like this when we lived in the house, and I'm a little cloudy on if it was this exact thing, but yeah, I think it was illegal here as well to move.
Yeah.
What was it? Not rabbits. It was something else. I don't remember, but yeah, very similar to that. Anyway, we never did it, but
I mean, either that or I just put them on a pike so the hawk will finally eat them. Like, I don't know. Like,
I used to fry squirrels in a little trap like that, except it was electrified because they would destroy our yard, back in Boston.
I mean, I thought about building a catapult. That was my other option. And then that would
just like build a little thing that like traps the animal, but then calls the fox. Just let nature take its course.
I mean, if it would help, if I knew that hawks could read, I'd put a sign on my roof that says "Rabbit Home." There are 6 of the little jerks in the backyard.
A target. You can see, like, mow a target into your grass so they can see, like, exactly where it is.
And they just sit back there and on the grass that's growing, and it's too much. And then I planted some, because this is a horticulture podcast. I planted some oak leaf hydrangeas like on the back because it's well shaded, and I need some like coverage to hide something, a fence back there. And they're eating that, jerks. Yeah. So now they got to go.
I wonder which of you is the invasive species in this story, really.
We're not here for that. We're here for me.